The Bulls have been hit with another injury, and this time it comes to former All-Star big man Nikola Vucevic. After last night's game, Andre Drummond looks like he's ready to take on the role as starting center with the Chicago Bulls right away, so maybe not all hope is lost. We're going to discuss more of that in this episode of Bulls Digest. I'm your host, Joey Mercer, and before we get into it there today, I just want to say that about 88% of you that watch these videos are still not subscribed, so make sure to go down below, hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and every time we upload, you will be notified, and you'll be able to stay up to date with the Chicago Bulls. Get our takes here at Bulls Digest on that, and yeah, let's get right into the video. Without further ado, the first topic of today is a Vooch injury update. So we heard that he was going to miss last game, and we didn't really know the extent of it and of how long he was really going to miss. Is it going to be a game-to-game thing? Is there going to be a timetable release? And we actually came out and heard today how long Nikola Vucevic will be out of the lineup, and maybe it's a good thing. Maybe we can see how we're playing without him as well, and maybe he can also be put into more trade rumors, and maybe the Bulls can move on from him as well, and maybe that's the better situation for us to do. It's only a one-game sample size, but things are looking up for the Bulls. This is the report that I saw from Bleacher Report saying Bulls rumors Nikola Vucevic out at least 7 to 10 days with groin injury amid NBA season, and that was posted by Scott Polachek. So yeah, I mean, he is going to be out. It looks to be like maybe 2 weeks worth of games. And that seemed to be a really big blow as Vooch was playing as a crucial point of the Bulls as they've gone on this great run since Lavine's been down with an injury, but they did manage to squeak out a W against the Atlanta Hawks last night, and that is definitely a great win for the team. A few people struggled overall, but there are a few people that shone through as well, especially Andre Drummond in the absence of Nikola Vucevic. The official tweet from Shams was, the expected timetable for Chicago Bulls center Nikola Vucevic with groin strain at least next 7 to 10 days, sources tell The Athletic and Stadium. Bulls have won 9 of 13 games, including Tuesday, minus Vucevic, who has averaged 19 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists over his last 10. So yeah, he's been a crucial point of this team recently, and it's hard to see him go down, but hopefully they can still remain a very solid team as they have been since Lavine's gone down with him out of the lineup. The next thing we saw was Chicago Bulls big man, Nikola Vucevic is reportedly expected to miss at least a week of action due to injury, and according to the tweet I just cited, Vooch's timetable return from a groin injury is at least 7 to 10 days. So it's interesting to see that we thought this was going to be a day-to-day thing. I really didn't think it was going to be much of anything, and now it seems like they're almost putting him on ice for 7 to 10 days. Could be longer. That is the minimum timetable for his return, which is not what we thought here at Bulls Digest initially. It seemed to be a very minor injury, but the extent of groin injuries are very serious. Maybe they're just being careful with the Chicago Bulls organization there in Vooch, or maybe it's because they want to see what value they can get for him, as opposed to bringing him back too soon and looking rusty out there on the court. He has struggled to shoot the ball from 3 so far this year, but teams definitely understand his capability of stretching the floor at the center position. Next thing we saw was Vooch missed Tuesday's 118-113 win over the Hawks due to the groin ailment, marking the first contest he missed all season. Chicago acquired Vucevic from the Orlando Magic via trade during the 2020-21 season, giving it another all-star to pair with Zach Lavine and someone who can routinely post double-doubles in the front court. While the Bulls missed the playoffs that season, they reached the postseason in 2021-22, in part because of Vucevic's double-doubles, as he averaged 18, 11, and 3 assists per game, which is great production. I mean, what else are you looking for out of a big man? Not much when it comes to what you're looking for out of Vooch. The defensive side of things, people are always worried about his rim protection, but on offense, I mean, you can't say much besides the fact he struggled a little bit from three-point line this year, but he is such an offensive unit, and the tools that he has on the offensive end as a big man are absolutely phenomenal in my opinion. Next thing we saw was still There was plenty of inconsistency on the defensive side, and with his outside shooting at 31% from deep, leading to some questions entering the 2022-23 campaign. He responded by averaging nearly identical numbers at 18, 11, and 3 assists per game, although he was more efficient at 52% from the field and 35% from deep. Chicago gave him a new 3-year deal this past offseason, and he is averaging 17 and 10 with 3 assists in 31 games in 2023-24. And I do believe that that number that I cited there is correct, that he is shooting about 28% from the three-point line right around there, which is definitely the worst that he's had in several years now, since before he really even attempted three-pointers on a regular basis. Back a very long time ago now. We're going back several seasons at the very least. Next thing, we have the absence comes at an inopportune time for the Bulls as they won 9 of their past 13 games to improve their record to 14 and 18. Additionally, Lavine has been on the shelf since November, so the Bulls are now without 2 of their 3 best players. At his best, Vucevic is someone who can space the floor and work in pick and pops with Lavine and DeMar DeRozan. The Bulls will miss Vucevic's presence for as long as he is out, although they can turn toward 2-time All-Star and 4-time rebounding champ Andre Drummond for more playing time. So that's a very solid thing that the Bulls kind of have in their arsenal, is that Drummond is one of the better big men in the league and can come in and play starting minutes, as he really proved to be able to do so last night in that win over the Hawks, as he outperformed both big men, Okongwu and Clint Capella, combined for I think it was like 24 and 11, and Drummond put up 24 and 25. I mean, what else could you want there? Outperform both of them. You could see them really having to send 3, if not 4 people down to get rebounds when Drummond was crashing the offensive glass. He's such a big presence out there, and to see him play 38 minutes, it's great to see him in that tip-top shape, and great work last night from Andre Drummond for sure. Which brings us into the second topic of today, and that is Drummond to the rescue. Not all is lost with Vooch out of the lineup. We do have a very good backup center in Drummond, as the Bulls do have one of the better center rotations in the league. It's hard to argue that. Drummond, I mean, what he's done in the past is so phenomenal. He is great off the bench. Teams really have the game plan for his offensive rebounding, and although he does have some lapses on the defensive end, he's one of the best big men in the league at stealing the ball, and he's also starting to get some blocks and really show that he cares a little bit more out there. I thought that some fatigue was affecting him in other games so far this year, but after being given a bigger role, maybe it was just a morale thing, and maybe right now he wants to do more with the team as he plays so much more, and was actually the leading scorer at half last night for the Bulls, so great to see that from Drummond for sure. Now, these are the stats that you can look at from Drummond. I mean, obviously he's not shooting any threes. He did shoot 2 of 2 from the free throw line last night, and you look at that against the Spurs, he had 12 and 8 with an assist. 5 steals and 2 blocks is phenomenal there for sure. The next game against the Cavs, he's basically non-existent, only playing 13 minutes a game. 1.6 rebounds, no assists, a steal, no blocks. No shots from the field at all. He just is not really aggressive out there. Then against the Hawks, he gets the nod, gets the start. 24 points, 11 of 13 from the field, 25 rebounds, an assist, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. And we can see his regular season averages of 7 and 7. And they're obviously a little tiny bit boosted after last night. The points went up by 1. I believe the rebounds also almost went out by at least half a rebound a game. And his minutes at only 14. So we can see his career, 28 minutes a game. He's putting up 13 and 13. So, I mean, what else are you looking for there? That 3-point is the percentage that they have listed there. It's not the attempts. It's kind of confusing the way that they do it there for sure on Google. But, yeah, 13 and 13 on the career. He's obviously able to get lots of rebounds. Nobody has ever said that Drummond's not a great rebounder. He's one of the greatest of all time in that aspect. And one of the best big men at getting steals, 1.3 a game. So great to see Drummond out there performing that way last night. Now, the next thing that we saw was actually, I put up here from Crafted NBA. This is Andre Drummond. So you can see here he's about 6'10", rounded, of course, with a 7'6" wingspan. Is absolutely massive. That to go along with the weight of 279 really helps him get in position and grab those boards. And he's just 30 years old. He's younger than Vooch. It seems like he's been in the league forever, and he definitely has been in the league for a very long time. I believe he was in the 2012 draft where he started out as a very raw prospect out of UConn for the Detroit Pistons and has really put things together. They wanted to be the star player. He wasn't that kind of guy, but he's really falling into a role right now with the Chicago Bulls. That little tornado symbol they have there, that means that he is a disruptor on the defensive end. And that thing next to it, it looks like two C's parting and a guy there. That's Moses. That means he's one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. So he gets those two badges, so to speak, from Crafted NBA. If we go to look at some more stats that we saw from Drummond so far this season, I was very surprised where he ranks among the other big men in the league when looking at Crafted NBA. When we bring it up there, I know you can still see me in that kind of, but we have the true shooting percentage is not that great. 54%, 32nd percentile. His shot quality is very poor because he's getting a lot of tips on the offensive rebounds up on the glass, and that has to be taken into account for that. His free throw rate's actually very high because teams like to foul him. But when you look at the offensive rebound, best in the league. We look at the load, it's very low. The creation, low. Portability, pass rate, those things are very low, but that's not the things that you're looking from Drummond. Look at the defensive side of the ball there. He's only in the 50th percentile. He's exactly average when it comes to offense when you take things overall, even though he is the best offensive rebounder in the entire NBA right now. And look at that. I mean, we have deflections. That's the 96th percentile. That is about as good as you're going to get when it comes to centers. I mean, one of the best in the league at that. There's hardly anybody better. Defensive turnovers, what he's causing there, the rate for it, 93rd percentile. Defensive rebound only at the 85th percentile. Thought it'd be better. Still very, very good, of course. The rim defense and frequency are both pretty low, but you look at the block percentage, 84th percentile. We look at the versatility and his, how often he's fouling is a little bit higher, but his overall defense in the 86th percentile, meaning he is one of the better backup bigs on defense in the league this year. Really surprised me seeing those overall stats and really gave me a better understanding of how important he is to this team, not just on the rebounding side of things, but also on the defensive side of the ball. So great to see there, and it has been limited time. So maybe when given more time, he is able to perform even better for the Bulls now in that starting role. When we look at the last thing I want to see here, it's some usage charts on Andre Drummond, so we have an even better understanding of how he's going to perform the starting role based on what we've seen so far this year. We can see here that the usage by play type, meaning what plays is he doing the most often. 20 being the percentage of how often he does that play, and 10 also the percentage. Right there, he's never ISOing, never spot up, those types of things. It's the roll man. That's very important to notice that he did a lot of that last night. He also cuts a good bit of the time and posts up about just as often as he cuts. A little bit more in the posting up, but you can see as the roll man, that's exactly what they need next to Kobe White, who has been playing absolutely phenomenal so far. Drummond's even had a little tiny bit of time on small forwards and shooting guards and different switches so far this year, which is what we see there. Most of the time, of course, on centers, but even a little bit of time on PFs. And he's done a very good job on that and really tends to guard his position more than anything, which is really what you like to see. He's going to fit really well next to Kobe White and even DeMar DeRozan and open up the floor as those defenders have to drop back on Drummond, as rebounds are always going to go to him if there's no body on him, if not two bodies, honestly, at the very least. And he's going to be a crucial point to help this offense, as it will clog up the lane, but will open some shot opportunities for Kobe White and DeMar DeRozan. And as they kind of work with him over the next couple of weeks, I think the Bulls are definitely going to figure this thing out with Drummond, and he's going to look like himself once again. Mark my words. This has been your host, Joey Mercer. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Bulls Digest, of course. Make sure to go down below, like and comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for notifications, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Signing off.